Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late October, early November 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let me put my little wood cutting implement down right here, and we're going to get right down to business as usual by starting you off with an oracle card. Let's get it going here just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Capricorns here, as we are in one of my favorite times of the year. As you already know, I'm in costume, dressed up as a nice lumberjack, lumber Kyle, right? I promise I'm not a hipster or a criminal, but let's get it going here. We're going to start you off with one card, then we'll get into the full reading itself, and at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for my Capricorn friends. Okay, I hope you're enjoying the season as well. Okay, beautiful. We have Ariel showing up here, the Little Mermaid card. It's one of my favorites. Now, this could be very good and imaginative. It's also a big future focus, and I do love the energy of it. Aesthetically, it's just so beautiful and gorgeous. Now, before we really talk about that fully, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the October subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. It's your last chance to get in for that. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk about our good friend, the Little Mermaid. We've all seen the movie a couple dozen or 100 times, right? It's a beautiful story, and this card encapsulates that to me. So you see the mermaid lives around all this beauty. So maybe there's something with aesthetics or something or someone you feel is very beautiful when this card shows up, but her head is literally in the clouds and there is some place she would rather be. So for a lot of you, maybe you're a little imaginative. Maybe you have someone or something on your mind quite a bit. Maybe you're on somebody else's mind when Ariel shows up in the front end of a reading. But a big thing with this card is like looking towards the future, right? Like in a year, a month, whatever it might be, even a week, there's just like a future focus of where you want to go from here, like point A to B. So take from that what you will. I feel like it's a good card as long as this isn't representing somebody who's like lost in la la land, like fantasy land, like overthinking and stuff like that. But we're just going to put her down, and we'll see if that links in with the reading itself. And I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading, it's just a footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright, then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. So let's shuffle it up here one time for my lovely Cappies. And while we get this deck ready, let's talk about last week's reading, my friends. It was an intriguing one. It was titled, Here They Come. And the reason it was titled that is I felt a magnetic energy around the Capricorn collective, that someone or something or various things could be moving towards you very quickly. The energy's just been very magnetic for Capricorn recently. So hopefully the things that have been coming towards you have been very positive. But let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, right? Because we could be seeing your vibe or someone you're linked to. So let's get it going. What do we have for my Capricorns, please, and thank you. Let's get these first 3 cards out. Let Lumber Kyle read the cards for you this week. What's happening? All right, the deck is being very specific. Okay, so we are starting with a beautiful energy. We have the Ace of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards, Golden Opportunities. Very nice. At least to start, like this is the beginning. That is a card of new beginnings, fresh cycles. Whoa, okay, we have the Chariot. This is like a very quick ramp up, like something ramping up and picking up tons of steam real quick. Like, all right, well, this just started and boom, it's like very explosive in the center. Let's get one more and we'll start to build this out. Like either something maturing very quickly or just something coming in. All right, we have the Emperor on the back end. I will say this, Capricorn, the energy I'm picking up so far is extremely powerful, as we have this Aries energy on the back. So let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, we have a nice mixture of elements happening here. We do have earth, we have water, we have some fire. So this could be different areas of life, different things and situations you're going through, or it could be all one thing. Now, this is very good the way we're starting, but the Chariot and the Emperor are extremely powerful types of energies. So that might be an energy you're stepping into, taking command of things or just being in your power. So let's go through one by one and really start to piece this story together, because there could be some nuance this week. Position number 1, we are starting with a card of beginning, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, I always say all aces are opportunities. This one in particular is one of my favorites. I call it the card of golden opportunities. You can expect to see an uptick in monetary or abundance, like physical material abundance, when this card shows up. And to me, it's like Spirit throwing you an alley-oop, like something being delivered to you on a golden platter, where you just got to take it and run with it. And we're kind of seeing that here in the center when we move into this action. So like somebody taking an opportunity and going with it and running with it. It is what you make it. It is how much effort you put into it that will judge how far this Ace of Pentacles can go. Now, as with all aces and all opportunities, if you don't seize the day, if you don't jump on it, it can wither on the vine. Opportunities are limited time only. So we're really going to want to clarify this and see how it all plays out. Obviously, this isn't a bad card, okay? But it could also be something that's not fully matured. Remember, aces talk about beginnings, something at the very early stages or start. So if there's not a lot of new things in your life right now, this is something that's fledgling. Like it's not fully off its feet yet. But moving to the center, this is where we get a very big change in the vibe, because we have this little energy that's a little meek. It's starting stages into like rocket, like boom, with the Chariot. Now, the Chariot could represent a Cancer or a Cancerian that you are linked to. This card means a lot of things, positive and challenge alike. Now, when I see the Chariot, it could represent travel, it could represent distance. You might be wanting to go on a trip or a vacation, or you might be dealing with situations with distance. And I think of very fast, powerful, deliberate action whenever I see this Chariot, either going towards something or moving away from it. It could be either one. So remember last week I said there was a very magnetic energy, and it could still be showing up with this extremely fast, powerful action card. The Chariot, though, although it's determined, although there's a lot of action and movement, and it is borderline explosive depending on the clarifier, it can be combative sometimes. All right, so whether it's your guard going up or you being on guard, we'll just think of this as the energy moving in a very fast way for now. But always remember, chariots are an instrument of war. That's what they were initially created for. So we're going to really want to look in deeper to this card. But it could just be the energies progressing and moving. And when I look at it on a larger scale, let me fix this card real quick. It's not as easy as it looks. But when we look at the energy on a larger scale, we go from something in the very early stages to like a very quick like progression or level up, like 0 to 100. That's what I'm picking up here. So the action, the power. Now on the back end, we have the Emperor. This is the card that represents Aries. So you might be connected to an Aries. You might have some placements in Aries. When I see this, it could be a whole host of different things. Once again, this is a shot caller type of energy. It could represent control, whether you're controlling a situation, controlling your life. And that could tilt into the challenge, but we'll talk about that in a moment. The Emperor could represent older male figures, divine masculine figures, powerful figures, authority figures, similar to the Hierophant in that sense. But this is the King of Kings. Okay, and doesn't matter if you're male, female, or anything in between. This is an extremely powerful energy to step into. And always remember that the Emperor is the divine masculine counterpart of the Empress. So this effort or this control can bring abundance. The only thing we need to watch out for with Emperor energy is that sometimes it could be a little over-controlling or a little too possessive, or like wanting everything done to a T. So there's not a lot of flexibility there. But I want to dive deeper on all the Capricorn. Let's jump in and clarify. All right. Pardon me, a little frog in the throat there. But let's see what's happening, my gods. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ace of Pentacles. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Capricorn, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Ace of Pentacles time. What's happening? What's happening? Thank you. Wow. Wow, wow. This is amazing. This is massive. This is huge, my friends. Now, I'm getting a couple of messages here right off the rip. The Four of Wands, the 1111 card, is a cause for celebration. Okay, and I'll break it down in a couple of steps. First and foremost, when we see the Ace of Pentacles with the Four of Wands, there could be some sort of massive win or victory, and we'll try to get more details throughout, but this is something very big. The Four of Wands, if it's not celebrating or gatherings or a lot of people are getting together, this could represent the family and the home. Of course, it's very sturdy and stable. So when I see it under a card of golden opportunities, I see somebody taking this ball and running with it, making the most of an opportunity and bringing that celebration. So whether it is monetary, whether it is relationships or whatever it might be, there is some sort of very big win where something's going to go your way coming in the near future. This is a big cause for optimism. Now, the other message I do have to say is this card in particular is one of my biggest cards of omens, of signs from spirit. So watch for the 1111s, the repeating 1s, 2s, 3s, all those angel numbers, especially with an ace linked in here too. So spirit could be trying to get your attention or lead you down the proper path. Okay, now I know not everybody notices these little synchronicities and omens, but someone on the spirit side could be trying to get your attention to like help lead you down a very specific path. So there can be powerful omens popping up for a lot of Capricorns in this time. Let's keep moving over. If not, this is beautiful, luscious energy. So let's see how it plays out as we get through the rest of the reading, because we're starting very good. This is claimable energy on the front for sure. Like celebrating something. You're going to be happy with how something turns out for sure, especially with newer things or new beginnings. So why is the Chariot here? Thank you. Okay. All right, there is somebody that you might have to temper their expectations a little bit. That's the first thing that's popping up in my mind. The Chariot with the Knight of Pentacles in the upright. Two main messages here. This is a card that could represent you or another earth sign when we have the Knight of Pentacles. And it is very slow moving, whereas the Chariot's the fastest moving card in the deck. This is probably one of the slowest, if not the slowest. So the main two messages I'm picking up here is you either might need to temper somebody's expectations or your own. Like, okay, well, I'm going to get this. This is going to turn out good, but it might take a little bit. It might need a little bit more time to mature. So you might have to really explain something to somebody like, hey, this is a process, or something is a process. But another big thing I'm seeing here with this Chariot, aside from the patience and the process, there could be somebody that's going to make some very big action and movement towards you. Okay, there is still this magnetic energy that we were picking up last week. Like if this is you, the Chariot's coming to you. You're not going to have to move much for it. So whether it is these winds, whether it is an individual, there's a lot of magnetic energy and a lot of action, whether it's people, whether it's energetic, whether it's material. There's like really big, powerful action moving towards you. So I would once again claim this. I feel like this is good. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. I don't want to get hung up here. I feel like it's those two main messages. Either one, like tempering somebody's expectations. Hey, it's a process. It's not quite ready. Or this is just energy moving towards you like really quickly, which is claimable. So let's see what's up with that Emperor. Someone or something is coming in quick. So let's see why the Emperor is here. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is the Emperor in the mix? Thank you. Okay. I wasn't expecting that type of energy. And all right, we have the 10 of Swords in the upright. If you try to control something too much, if you try to control an outcome too much, if you try to control a person too much, something could really end in a very tough way when I see this, like the 10 of Swords underneath the Emperor here. Now, of course, this could represent a divine masculine figure that you have disconnected with in one way or another. It doesn't have to just be in relationships and stuff like that. But I feel like this is more of a warning from spirit, like, hey, look, you have all this beautiful stuff coming towards you. It might take a little bit of time, but don't try to control it too much. Don't try to control this person or control the outcome. Get into the flow state. I feel like that's the big thing here. Now, the 10 of Swords can be a little bit of an intimidating card to see. Yes, it represents painful endings. But in the context of what we're picking up here in the reading and the things that I've been feeling, forcing things in this time is a no-go. Controlling things too much or trying to control a person or control an outcome too much is also a no-go. So maybe you might want to veer away from stepping into this Emperor energy a little too much, right? Like there's a difference between being a kind, benevolent leader or one that's a tyrant. So being a tyrant in any way in this time is like really a way to drive something into the dirt. Okay, now whether that's your energy or somebody else's, hopefully there's nobody trying to control you and your destiny and what way you're going. but going with the flow is the route to move, especially with all this beautiful energy we have up front here. So let's go through and do a quick recap, because yeah, that's a warning on the back end, but I don't feel like that's set in stone, like, oh, this is going to end in disaster. Nothing like that. I'm not picking up big red flags. But if you kindly look in the box before we get into the shadow card. Position number 1, interesting though, we start with a beginning card, end with an ending card. So there is a little bit of a journey and a progress here. But we have the Ace of Pentacles with the 4 of Wands in the upright. Beautiful chef's kiss type of energy. We love this. So like I said, there is a lot of magnetic energy moving towards you. And there's a big win or victory on the horizon. It felt very massive and significant, okay? Even if it's something in the early stages. Another thing I was picking up here is, like, please keep your eyes open for powerful omens and signs from spirit, because they might be trying to direct you, you know, like passively direct you which way to go and how you should react. Moving to the center, we have the Chariot with the Knight of Pentacles, and with what we saw here on the back end, this is beginning to make more sense. Tempering one's expectations a little bit, realizing that something is a progress, something is a journey. You can't force it, you can't rush it. So you might need to slow something down or pump somebody's brakes, that's for sure. But another big thing I was picking up was this magnetic energy still moving towards the collective. On the back end, we have the Emperor with the 10 of Swords in the upright. If this isn't a disconnect with a divine masculine figure or an authority figure, the main thing I was picking up here is, like, if you try to control this, if you try to control this situation, or you try to control this outcome a little too much, it's going to end in 10 of Swords. So go with the flow. All right, that's a big thing here. Like, there's a difference between being a kind, benevolent authority figure and being a dictator. So any dictator type actions are really frowned upon here. So please take a screenshot of that, and let's see what's in the shadows for Capricorn. And as I always say, you know, you just take this and see how it fits and see what your week looks like this upcoming week. But going with the flow is definitely the route. But let's see what's up. We're just going to get you one shadow card. God's Spirit Team, whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see, it doesn't always have to be a challenge. But let's see what's in the shadows for Capricorn. Oh, and yes, if you've made it this far in the video, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I put a link for it down in the comments. My members helped me pick out costumes this weekend. I got a whole bunch of bonus things in there, so obviously no pressure. But let's see what's in the shadows for you. Gotta mention it, right? Okay. Yeah, 6 of Cups. So we're ending the reading in a very similar way that we started, with, like, this person with the head in the clouds. The 6 of Cups can speak about the past, history, whether it's with somebody or something, but to me, this is someone taking a big walk down memory lane. So someone might really have you on their mind in a very powerful way in this time, or you, like, vice versa. This is someone or something with a lot of history. And when it shows up in the shadow position, it is somebody still holding on to the past in one form or another. And it makes sense. It's only natural and human to do that. But there is someone or something from the past that Spirit might really want you to shine some light on in this time. But aside from soul connections, this is generally a beautiful card, loving and sharing. So just know, under the surface of something, there is love connected. So I just feel like I have to deliver that message. Just don't live in the past too much. But yeah, Capricorn, that's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the October subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the September subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this week's Fire and Air readings. But for October, I'll be going back to one of the classics. I'll be giving away 2 copies of the Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of the most beautiful decks out there. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. Second, let me know down in the comments if there's a zodiac sign that you clash with. If so, which signs do you kind of bump heads with? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of October, your name will be announced in the community tab, my friends. As always, much love, and I'll see you next time.